Hi, Marina Brooks here. Let's talk today about saying I'm sorry. Guys, stop saying I'm sorry. And especially the ladies, we are so notorious for this and it's just not good. And no, I don't mean say, please forgive me instead of saying I'm sorry when you want to apologize to someone. That's a whole other conversation that I'll get into another time. What I'm talking about is stop apologizing for every little thing that you do. I see it and hear it all the time. Oh, I'm sorry I bumped into you. Oh, I'm sorry I dropped this. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I'm this. I'm sorry I'm that. What that does is overall, it just creates this energy like you are apologizing for your existence all the time. If you dropped something, pick it up. If something happened, if you bumped into somebody, that's okay. It happens. You don't have to be apologizing all the time. I mean, obviously, if you've hurt someone or if you've done something to upset somebody, yes, you want to apologize, but then you want it to be a sincere and authentic apology from your heart. When we're throwing this, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry all the time, all over the place, for one, it really does start to lose its value, and two, we start to lose our value. When we're apologizing all the time, we are sending this message out into the universe that we have to apologize for our existence. Like, we're making mistakes all the time. Like, we're wrong about being and who we are and how we are and all these things that we do. So I really wanted to talk about this today. This is so huge and so important, and just making this little shift will make such a big difference in your life. I know for the longest time I used to do the same thing. If I took a little longer to respond to an email than I wanted to, the first line would be, I'm sorry for responding late, or please forgive me for taking longer than I wanted to, or whatever it was. And then it didn't feel so good after a while. It's like the first thing that I'm saying, the first thing that comes out of my mouth, or the first thing that I'm communicating to somebody and the universe is, I'm apologizing for being who I am or for doing something that's completely human, that's completely normal and completely okay. So what I want to encourage you to do instead is shift into the positive. Find something positive that you can focus on and focus on that. So for example, if you're running late to a meeting, when you finally show up, instead of being like, oh, I'm so sorry, this happened, that happened, walk in with confidence and say, thank you so much, everybody, for being patient with me. I'm here now. We're ready to start. Okay, so that gives a different energy about you. It shows that you are confident about yourself and that you are sure about yourself and that you don't have anything to apologize about. If something happened, okay, it happens to everybody. And again, I do want to make the distinction that if something really big happened, and I mean, we all do things and we don't intend to hurt other people, but sometimes it happens. And if that happens, then yes, acknowledge that and extend your apology from the heart and ask for forgiveness. But that's not what I'm talking about here today. I'm talking about the little everyday things that we just throw these two words, I'm sorry, out like they're nothing. And I want to actually make you realize that they are something. So again, when you're showing up to a meeting late, or you got caught up doing something, instead of explaining yourself and apologizing, say, oh, I'm so sorry, I was doing something, and because of that, it took me a little bit longer. Just take the I'm sorry out. You can still be gracious by thanking the person for waiting for you, for being there, for whatever it was. And actually, it'll make them feel better if the first thing that they hear you say is, thank you so much, I really appreciate you being patient. Because they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you appreciate me. I feel good now. It's so much better than coming out and apologizing and letting that be the first thing out of your mouth and the first thing that you communicate to somebody. So please, please start to be more aware of what you're saying. Just spend a day just counting how many times in the day you say I'm sorry and how many of those are actually necessary and how many you just throw out because we are so conditioned to be in this little box, and God forbid we step out of line, and God forbid we do something a little bit off than what's expected of us and what society wants to see us do. It's okay. Relax. Allow yourself to be you. Allow yourself to be authentic and come from the heart. And for this whole idea of how you show up in the universe, how you show up in the world, how you show up with other people, come from a place of something positive. Find something positive to comment on and focus on that. go with that. And like I said, when you walk into a meeting or if you say something to somebody and it comes from that authentic place of thank you so much for waiting, thank you for being here, I appreciate what you're doing, whatever it is, it makes them feel really good and it shows so much confidence about you. So you want to increase your confidence and how you're showing up. This is definitely one thing that can really, really make a huge difference for you. Thanks for watching and let me know how it's going. Let me know how often you catch yourself saying I'm sorry when you really feel like you shouldn't. And when you make that shift, when you start focusing on the positive and talking about what's good about the situation instead of all the horrible things that just happened in the traffic and the coffee that spilled and this and that and oh my God, I'm so sorry. When you shift out of that, when you shift out of apologizing and excusing yourself every moment of the day, and shifting into being in your power and showing up in this confident way, let me know how that goes for you. Again, it's a small difference, but it makes a big difference. It's a small thing that you change in your life and in your communication, but it's going to shift so much more in your life. And the universe, when it sees you showing up with this confidence, with this true, authentic sense of love and appreciation for the world and the people around you, from a human place, from being okay with who you are and who they are and just accepting things, the universe is going to open up so much more to you. So again, thank you so much for watching. Would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think and share any stories and insights with me that have come out of you watching this video. See you next time.